Hello, I'm Yuri. In this video I will talk about healing spiritual practice, which is well known among Russian-speaking people and has helped many people to cope with their health problem. I will read some success stories, which are translation from a book about this practice. Other videos on my channel have step-by-step description of how to apply this practice. I personally have applied this practice and have felt its curative powers on myself. I had a small tumor in my throat and had it removed surgically. Friends of mine began to study and apply healing spiritual practice. I also began to read about this practice, but it sounded to me like nonsense. At that moment, I was not ready to accept it. After a year, neoplasm was again found and the doctors informed me that sometimes it's necessary to perform the procedures 3 or 4 times. The doctor have no other way to deal with this. I refused the operation and decided to try healing spiritual practice. It helped me, and now, 2 years later, the tumor has not returned. I also noticed with the practice I began to eliminate colds and other minor illness, and over time, they completely ceased to appear. My body has become noticeably stronger and healthier. As a result, I have moved up 2 amateur leaguers in sports. This is a measure of health for me, by which I can detect physical improvements. Emotionally, I have become calmer, more balanced, confident and cheerful. Through this practice, I can also help my child if he is sick or in a bad mood. It has helped my friends and the clients also. The practice is not difficult to learn, it only requires desire. It's easier to remove the causes of illness using the healing spiritual practice than to take medicine or have surgery. I want to share this practice with others. I made a Russian language channel on YouTube and now I want to share this knowledge with English-speaking people. Applying this practice, it became clear to me that the causes of illness is usually not wet feet or passerby who sneezed at you, as is commonly thought. The cause of illness lies a little deeper. Our body is more complicated than official medicine believes. In addition to physical, we have subtle bodies which if damaged affects our physical body and the emotional state. Subtle bodies can experience parasites similar to parasites in the physical body. They damage the subtle bodies and this leads to the illness of the physical body or to deterioration of mood. The good news is that you can easily, quickly and most importantly by yourself get rid of the causes of the disease, and it's completely free. Many problems go away quickly, though some may remain for a long time because they have multiple causes. You will need persistence and perseverance to cope with them. In a nutshell, the essence of this method is to identify and eliminate the real causes of the disease in the subtle body. This is done by referring to the higher self to determine the causes of disease using a pendulum and charts. You can give it a try, and you will find this practice will help you as it helped me and many others. Now the success stories from viewers of my Russian channel. Helen's story. I started working with this method because of a pain in my sternum. After practicing for a short time, the pain disappeared, as well as a numbness I had experienced in my arm. I also had a thyroid problem that I was able to heal. In addition, I was a long-time heavy smoker, and I was able to quit by applying the healing spiritual practice. I recommend this practice to anyone who wants to heal themselves. Peter's story. This teaching is unique and for me has been very beneficial. Before I started the practice, I had been sick for a long time and received negative results for an echocardiograph. After working with the system, I again did an echocardiograph and the doctor said that he had never seen such improvement over a 6-year period. I had become much more healthy. On this channel there is a detailed description of how to use healing spiritual practice. Watch and practice. Now some success stories translated from the book about this practice. The first story is about the treatment of the skin disease neurodermatitis, which is incurable in orthodox medicine, from a patient 17 years old who suffered from this disease from 6 months of age. At the age of 17, the patient's situation was critical. The parents of this young man listened to my course and they asked me to treat him. The treatment was applied for a month and the condition cleared up. The young man entered university and the chairman of the medical commission, who reviewed the patient, looked at the young man's medical records and saw the diagnosis of neurodermatitis. He said, "You didn't and don't have any neurodermatitis." But this patient was suffering from neurodermatitis from the age of 6 months and has observed for 17 years. His condition had been confirmed by various doctors whom had been consulted over the years. Another story of recovery. The practitioner says, "It began when I bought a book about the healing spiritual practice. I had suffered from kidney problems for a long time, and upon reading the book, I immediately wanted to apply this wonderful technique on myself. I had maintained a salt-free diet for many years. Using the healing spiritual practice, I solved my problem. After 5 months of practice, I no longer experienced unpleasant symptoms in the kidneys. What did I cure? First, since 1981 my kidneys had been working unsatisfactorily with frequent edema and I had to have a salt-free diet. The practice for eliminating the cause of this problem required only 15 minutes. Then, after 5 months of recovery, the swelling in my kidney has gone. I no longer required a special diet and my condition was normal. Second, I had headaches in posterior lobe since April 1999 that were almost constant. Spiritual healing diagnostics showed the existence of an entity of earthy spirit. A program was drawn up to eliminate it. The program worked in 3 hours and the headaches disappeared immediately. Third, I had an unpleasant sensation in the heart and was not able to cure them. The cause was determined to be pathogens with wavelengths of 400 meters and 590 meters. The program was able to eliminate these pathogens within 8 hours, and the symptoms have not returned. Fourth, for many years I had anxious dreams. I sleep badly and sometimes my hands tremble. The underlying causes were negative thoughts and emotions. Program eliminated the causes of negative thoughts over a period 14 days, and the hand tremors disappeared, and sleep has returned to normal. One more story. The patient received diagnosis of melanoma which has confirmed by 2 independent cancer centers. The subtle cause of the melanoma was found by using the healing spiritual practice. This cause was the partial mismatch of the subtle bodies and the physical. A program was made to correct the mismatch of subtle bodies. The malignant process stopped immediately. Then a second program was made for absorbing the tumor, and in 3 weeks the tumor disappeared on subtle level. To speed up the process of absorption of the tumor on the physical plane, herbs and berries were recommended to the patient. 3 months later there was no trace of the tumor. This case is the second case of known to me personally of curing melanoma by the healing spiritual practice. This case of curing melanoma, which was on the face of the patient and which she eliminated on her own. On her face was a large spot covering more than half her cheek, dark red in color. The patient had a medical report with a referral for radiation. During a detailed examination conducted by the patient herself, it became clear that the engram of the moment of birth was the root cause of the appearance of melanoma. After the engram has eliminated, the patient continued to work to eliminate the other causes of the melanoma every day for a month. After a month and a half, the tumor has resolved completely. The skin on the cheek became even smooth and of normal color. 10 years have passed since then, and there has been no reoccurrence. For more information, see my other videos. My best wishes for your health.